The phone call lasted less than a minute, yet it split Elara Quinn's life cleanly in two. Before it, she was a bride counting days. After it, she was a daughter quietly erased. She stood in her small apartment kitchen, sunlight falling across unopened wedding invitations, when her father spoke the words she never expected to hear. He said he would not walk her down the aisle, not because he was ill, not because of distance, but because her sister had demanded he choose. Elara did not interrupt him. She listened as if listening might change the meaning. His voice was calm, almost careful. The way people speak when they believe they are being fair. He explained that Maren was upset, that Maren felt hurt, that Maren said she could not attend the wedding if he walked Elara down the aisle. He said he was tired of conflict. He said he wanted peace. And then he said the line that lodged itself in Elara's chest like a stone. He could not afford to lose another daughter. Another. As if Elara were already gone. When the call ended, Elara stayed, still. Her hands rested on the counter. Her breathing was even. Anyone watching would have thought she was fine. But inside her, memories rushed forward, sharp and unwanted. Childhood dinners where Maren spoke first and loudest. School events where praise shifted away from Elara the moment Maren entered the room. Holidays where Elara learned to make herself smaller so the air stayed calm. She had believed endurance was love. She had believed silence was maturity. Now she saw the cost. Maren had always hated her, but never openly. It was a quiet dislike, polished and hidden behind perfect manners. She never yelled. She never accused. She simply twisted moments until Elara appeared favored, and Maren appeared wounded. Their father, tired and eager to keep harmony, had learned to soothe the loudest hurt, and Maren had learned how to sound hurt without ever being wrong. Elara sank into a chair and stared at the wall. She felt no tears, only heat behind her eyes and a steady, rising pressure in her chest. This was not just about the wedding. This was about years of being second, years of being misunderstood, years of watching someone else write her story. The aisle was only the final line. That evening, Jonah came home and found her sitting in the dark. He asked what was wrong. Elara told him in plain words. She did not soften them. She did not protect anyone. Jonah listened, his jaw tight, his anger quiet. He offered to call her father. She said no. This was not a fight she wanted fought for. This was something else. Something older. That night, sleep did not come easily. Elara lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying the call again and again. Each time, her father's choice felt heavier. She realized something then, clear and cold. Maren had not forced him. He had agreed. He had chosen the easier loss. And Elara had made it easy by never demanding more. By morning, the shock had hardened into focus. Elara went to work, answered emails, smiled when spoken to. But her mind moved fast, sharp with clarity. She stopped asking why. She stopped hoping for an apology. Instead, she asked herself a different question. What would it take to be seen? Not as the calm one, not as the strong one, but as the one who had been wronged. She remembered moments she had brushed aside before. Messages from Maren that seemed kind but left a sting. Conversations where Maren framed herself as patient while quietly accusing Elara of selfishness. Elara had always let it pass. She thought rising above meant staying silent. Now she saw that silence had allowed lies to breathe. At lunch, she scrolled through old messages, not with nostalgia, but with purpose. She did not smile. She did not cry. She read. She noticed patterns. Phrases repeated. Stories adjusted. Small truths bent until they leaned in Marin's favor. None of it was dramatic alone. Together, it formed something clear. This was not rivalry. This was control. Ilara closed her phone and felt a strange calm settle over her. For the first time, she was not reacting. She was deciding. She did not want chaos. She did not want to scream. She wanted balance. She wanted the truth to stand where lies had lived. And if truth caused damage, then the damage had already been. There, hidden under politeness. Still, doubt followed her. She asked herself if this path would change her into someone she did not recognize. She asked if exposing Marin would make her cruel. She thought of her father, his tired eyes, his need for peace. She thought of the wedding day, the long walk, the empty space beside her. The doubt faded. Peace built on silence was not peace. It was surrender. That evening, Ilara stood in front of the mirror and studied her reflection. She looked the same, but she felt different. The girl who learned to step back had grown into a woman who knew the cost of stepping aside. She did not feel powerful yet, but she felt awake. Her phone buzzed. A message from her father. He asked if she was angry. Ilara stared at the screen. She typed a reply, erased it, then typed again. Finally, she wrote something simple. She said she was hurt. She said she needed time. She did not explain further. She did not argue. She knew now that explanations had never saved her. When she put the phone down, a quiet resolve settled in her chest. This was the beginning of something she could not yet name. It was not forgiveness. It was not revenge. It was preparation. The betrayal had drawn a line, and for the first time in her life, Ilara did not step back from it. Ilara did not announce her anger. She carried it quietly, the way she had learned to carry everything else. But now it moved with purpose. The days after her father's call became sharp and focused. Every sound felt louder. Every memory felt closer. She stopped waiting for things to fix themselves. She began to watch, to think, to plan. Marin acted as if nothing had changed. She sent a short message about wedding colors, followed by a smiling face. Ilara read it once and did not reply. The silence felt heavy but clean. For the first time, she was not smoothing things over. She was letting the gap exist. At night, Ilara's thoughts raced. She argued with herself in the dark. She asked whether she was overreacting, whether families were simply like this. Then she remembered the phone call, the choice, the word, another. Each time doubt rose, that word pushed it back down. She opened old conversations, not to hurt herself, but to understand. She noticed how Marin always framed events. If Ilara succeeded, Marin felt ignored. If Ilara struggled, Marin felt burdened. There was never room for both of them. Ilara saw how often she had apologized for things she had not done, just to keep peace. The realization stung, but it also cleared her mind. Revenge began to form, not as a burst of anger, but as a slow idea. Ilara did not want to embarrass Marin. She did not want to destroy her. She wanted the truth to stand where lies had lived. She wanted her father to see what he had missed. She told herself this was justice, not cruelty. Still, the line between them felt thin. Jonah noticed the change. He watched Ilara grow quieter, more focused. He asked what she was planning. She told him she did not know yet. That was only half true. She knew what she wanted, just not how far she would go. Jonah warned her gently. He said anger could grow teeth. Ilara listened, but the warning did not stop her. It only slowed her. Steps. Marin called 2 nights later. Her voice was sweet, almost cheerful. She said their father was stressed. She said Alara should be understanding. She said weddings brought out strong feelings. Alara held the phone and felt the old pull to apologize. Instead, she said nothing. The silence made Maren uncomfortable. She filled it with excuses, with concern, with soft blame. When Alara finally spoke, she said only that she needed honesty now, not comfort. The line went quiet. Then Maren ended the call. That silence told Alara more than any words. She began to collect moments, not in a dramatic way. She did not spy or chase. She simply stopped ignoring things. Messages saved, voicemails kept, small truths left unburied. She felt uneasy doing it, like she was crossing into something dangerous. She reminded herself that the danger had already crossed into her life. She was only naming it. Her father sent another message. He asked if she would forgive Maren. The word forgive landed wrong. Alara realized he still did not see the full picture. He saw conflict, not cause. He saw hurt feelings, not control. The thought filled her with a steady, quiet anger, not explosive but lasting. At work, she moved fast, finishing tasks early, her mind elsewhere. She thought about confrontation, about timing, about damage. She imagined telling her father everything. She imagined his face, the shock, the guilt. Part of her wanted that moment. Another part feared it. She did not want to break him. She only wanted him to stop choosing comfort over truth. The struggle grew heavier each day. Alara asked herself if she was becoming what she hated. She asked if this plan would poison the future. She looked at Jonah and wondered if carrying this anger would follow her into her marriage. The questions did not stop her. They only made her careful. One evening, she stood in the shower, water pounding her shoulders, and admitted something she had avoided. She wanted Maren to feel exposed. She wanted her power taken away. The admission scared her. It felt honest and ugly at the same time. She did not push it away. She let it sit, studying it, understanding it. Desire did not mean action. Knowing that gave her control. Maren sent another message, longer this time. She said she felt attacked. She said Alara was being unfair. She said she had always tried to protect the family. Alara read the message slowly. She saw how Maren framed herself as the victim again. The pattern was perfect. Alara almost admired it. Almost. She typed a reply and deleted it. Then she typed another and deleted that too. Finally, she put the phone down. She understood something. Important then. Arguing would change nothing. Explaining would only give Maren more space to twist words. The truth would have to speak without debate. Her father called again. His voice tired. He asked if she would reconsider, if she would let things go for the sake of the family. Alara closed her eyes. She told him she loved him. She told him she would not pretend anymore. She did not raise her voice. She did not accuse. The calm in her tone unsettled him more than anger would have. After the call, Alara felt drained, but steady. The path ahead was still unclear, but the direction was set. She would no longer carry blame that was not hers. She would no longer shrink to make others comfortable. That night, she sat at the table with a notebook, not writing plans, but writing truths. Simple sentences. Things that happened. Things that were said. She did not decorate them. She did not add emotion. She let facts stand alone. When she finished, she felt a quiet sense of control return to her body. The conflict was no longer just between her and Maren. It was within her, between the woman who wanted peace and the woman who demanded fairness, between silence and exposure, between healing and revenge. Alara closed the notebook and rested. Her hands on it, The choice ahead would define more than her wedding. It would define who she became after betrayal. And she knew now that whatever she chose, she would have to live with it. Long after the aisle was empty. Alara chose the day carefully, not out of spite, but out of control. 3 days before the wedding, when nerves were high and masks were thin, she asked her father and Marin to meet her for lunch. She said she wanted to clear the air. She did. Not say how the restaurant was quiet, bright, and public. Alara wanted witnesses, not to shame anyone, but to keep things civil. When she arrived, her father was already there, stirring his drink without drinking it. He looked older than she remembered. Guilt had a way of aging people fast. Marin arrived minutes later, calm and polished, her smile smooth and practiced. She hugged their father first, then Alara, holding her just a second too long. They sat. Menus opened and closed. Small talk filled the space. Alara listened more than she spoke. She watched how Marin leaned closer to their father, how she touched his arm when she spoke, how she claimed the center without asking for it. Nothing had changed. That steadied Alara's nerves. Marin spoke first. She said she hated the tension. She said families should not fight over weddings. She said she felt pushed aside. Her voice stayed gentle, almost sad. Their father nodded, his shoulders tight. Alara noticed how quickly he softened when Marin spoke. The old pattern stood right in front of her. Alara waited until Marin finished. She did not rush. She did not interrupt. Then she placed her phone on the table. "I'm not here to argue," Alara said. Her voice was calm, even. "I'm here to stop pretending." Marin frowned slightly, just enough to show concern. "I don't know what you mean," she said. Alara pressed play. At first, the sound was low. Then Marin's voice filled the space between them. Clear, sharp, confident. She spoke about making their father choose. She spoke about how Alara would give in, because she always did. She laughed once, short and careless. There was no anger in her tone, only certainty. Their father froze. His hand stopped moving. His eyes stayed on the table. Marin's face drained of color. She reached for the phone, but Alara pulled it back and let the recording finish. The silence afterward was heavy and loud at the same time. Marin was the first to speak. Her voice shook, not with fear, but with anger. She said Alara had betrayed her trust. She said recording her was wrong. She said this proved Alara was cruel. The words came fast, sharp, defensive. She did not deny what she said. She attacked how it was revealed. Alara said nothing. Their father finally looked up. His eyes were wet, confused, broken. "Is this true?" he asked Marin. His voice cracked on the last word. Marin stood up. Her chair scraped loudly against the floor. She said she had done nothing wrong. She said she was protecting herself. She said Alara had always been favored, always chosen. She said this was the only way to be heard. Her voice rose, drawing looks from nearby tables. Alara watched her sister unravel and felt something unexpected. Not joy, not satisfaction, just clarity. Their father put his hands on the table, steadying himself. "I didn't know," he said quietly. "I thought I was fixing things." Marin turned to him, her eyes blazing. "You said you'd support me," she said. "You said you wouldn't walk her down the aisle." He did not answer right away. The moment stretched. This was it. Alara felt it clearly. The turning point. She could push now. She could demand what was taken from her. She could let this end with Marin exposed and alone. The power sat right in front of her. Ready. Her heart pounded. Her hands felt cold. Then Marin spoke again. Her voice hard. If you change your mind, she said to their father, you lose me. The words hit like a threat, clean and sharp. Elara looked at her father. She saw fear there. Old fear. Fear of abandonment. Fear of failing again. She knew that fear well. She had lived inside it for years. Something inside Elara loosened. She stood up slowly. Both of them looked at her. I didn't come here to make you choose, Elara said. I came here so the truth wouldn't stay hidden, Marin scoffed. Don't pretend this isn't revenge. Elara met her eyes. I won't pretend anymore at all. She turned to her father. I wanted you to walk me down the aisle because it mattered to me. But I won't be someone you bargain with. Not today. Not ever. Her father opened his mouth, then closed it again. Tears slipped down his face. Elara picked up her bag. Her legs felt unsteady, but her voice stayed firm. I love you, she said. Both of you. But I'm done paying for peace that costs me everything. Marin laughed, sharp and hollow. You're walking away because you know you won. Elara paused. She thought about that. Then she shook her head. No, she said. I'm walking away because I don't need to win. She turned and walked out. The air outside felt colder, cleaner. Her breath came fast. Her heart raced. She did not know if she had made the right choice. She only knew she had made a real one. Her phone buzzed before she reached her car. A message from her father. 3 words. Please talk to me. She did not answer right away. She sat in the driver's seat, hands on the wheel, staring ahead. The revenge she had planned no longer felt right. It would have ended things, but it would have ended her too, piece by piece. Instead, she had chosen something harder, something uncertain. As she drove away, Elara felt the weight of what she had done settle in her chest. The truth was out. The masks were off. Whatever came next would be real. And for the first time since the phone call that changed everything, she felt free enough to face it. The morning of the wedding arrived without drama, quiet and pale, like it was holding its breath. Elara woke before her alarm and lay still, listening to the city outside her window. For the first time in weeks, her thoughts were clear. The chaos had already happened. What remained was choice. Her phone buzzed. A message from her father. No long explanations, no pressure. Just an apology and a question. May I see you before the ceremony? Elara stared at the screen. She did not feel anger when she read it. She felt tired but steady. After a moment she replied yes. He arrived an hour later, standing awkwardly in her doorway, dressed in his suit. Hands folded like he was afraid to touch anything. His eyes filled when he saw her. He tried to speak, but the words tangled. Elara let him struggle. She had spent years carrying everyone else's emotions. She did not rush to rescue him. I failed you, he said finally. His voice was quiet, stripped of excuses. I wanted peace so badly that I let myself believe lies. I see that now. Elara studied him. She looked for defenses, for justifications. She found none. Only regret. It did not erase the pain, but it mattered. I didn't need you to choose sides, she said. I needed you to choose truth. He nodded, tears slipping free. I know, and I'm sorry it took me so long. There was a pause. Then he held out his arm, unsure. If you still want me to, he said, I would be honored to walk you down the aisle. Elara felt the weight of the moment press into her chest. This was not victory. It was repair. Fragile, imperfect, but real. She thought of the weeks. Of anger, the careful planning, the urge to hurt back. None of it felt powerful now. This did. She took his arm. The ceremony space filled slowly. Guests whispered, unaware of the storms that had already passed. Marin was not there. The empty seat in the front row was noticeable, but no one asked. Alara did not look at it. She focused forward. When the music began, her heart raced. Each step down the aisle felt like crossing a line she had once feared. Her father walked beside her, steady but humbled. He did not try to lead. He matched her pace. Jonah waited at the front, his eyes warm, grounding her. When she reached him, Alara felt a calm settle deep in her body. This was not the future she had imagined weeks ago. It was better. It was honest. The ceremony passed in a blur of vows and soft laughter. When Jonah took her hand, Alara felt fully present, unburdened by unfinished fights. She had not won a war. She had ended one. At the reception, joy moved easily through the room. Friends laughed, glasses clinked, music swelled. Alara watched her father from across the room. He looked lighter, like a man released from a long-held mistake. He did not speak of Marin. Neither did Alara. Later, as the evening softened, Alara stepped outside for air. The night was cool. Her phone buzzed again. A message from Marin. Short. Sharp. She accused Alara of turning their father against her. She said Alara had destroyed the family. The words were familiar, heavy with blame. Alara read the message once. Then she put the phone away. She felt no rush to respond. No need to defend herself. The story Marin told no longer controlled her. That power was gone. When Jonah joined her, he asked if she was okay. Alara nodded. I am, she said, and realized it was true. In the weeks that followed, life settled into a new rhythm. The silence from Marin remained. Sometimes it hurt. Sometimes it felt like relief. Alara did not chase reconciliation, but she did not close the door either. She understood now that healing could not be forced. Her relationship with her father changed. It grew slower, more careful. They spoke honestly, sometimes painfully. Trust did not return all at once. It returned in small moments. Shared meals, quiet apologies, effort. One evening, Alara found the old notebook she had used during the worst days. She flipped through the pages, reading the truths she had written. They no longer burned. They felt distant, like scars that no longer ached. She closed the notebook and set it aside. She thought about revenge, about how close she had come to letting it shape her ending. It would have felt strong, sharp, final, but it would have left nothing to build on. She saw that now. What she chose instead did not erase the betrayal. It did not rewrite the past, but it stopped the damage from spreading. It gave her space to grow beyond it. On quiet nights, Alara sometimes wondered if Marin would ever see her own reflection clearly. She hoped so. Not for justice, not for apology, but because living inside lies was its own kind of prison. As time moved forward, Alara carried the lesson with her. Revenge promised relief, but demanded a price. Truth asked for courage, but offered freedom. On her wedding day, she had walked forward not as someone chosen last, but as someone who chose herself. And in doing so, she learned that the deepest healing did not come from making others feel pain, but from refusing to let pain decide who she would become.